Imagine this. You're in the final stretch of a long marathon. You've come a long way through sacrifices, joy, and more obstacles than anyone knows. And now you're at the point where every step matters. One wrong move, and it could cost you everything. And just then, someone steps in your way. A brother, a partner, a friend, maybe even a neighbor. No, let's be real. At this stage of your life, the last thing you need is to carry the weight of other people's expectations. You're not here to be anyone's rescuer. You're not here to trade your peace for guilt or your time for someone else's mistakes. This is your life, not theirs. Let's be clear. Some people ask for things they never should, things that drain your energy, steal your time, and wreck your peace of mind. And that is not okay. Ever felt like that? Like an emotional ATM? Like you're the only one rowing a sinking boat while everyone else just sits and watches? It's time to say what most people are too afraid to. You deserve to protect your peace. In this video, we're breaking down 5 things no one should ever ask of you at this point in your life, because anything that costs you your peace simply isn't worth it. So stay with us, because this might be the wake-up call you've needed for a long time. Let's start with the first one. Being asked to take responsibility for things that were never yours to begin with. How many times have you said yes, when deep down you knew you should have said no? Too many, right? It always starts small, a favor, an emergency. Just this once. And before you know it, you're carrying a burden you were never meant to hold. What started as support slowly becomes dependency. And suddenly, you're the one holding everything up. The longer it goes on, the harder it gets to let go. But think about it. What happens when a worn-out rope keeps getting pulled? It snaps. And that rope is you. You were treated like a lifeline, expected to keep things afloat that should have stood on their own. But you're not a lifeline, and you shouldn't have to be. Because what's on the line isn't just your time, it's your peace, your emotional health, your life. When someone hands you a heavy load and walks away, expecting you to carry it out of love, that's not help. That's manipulation. And you've done enough. You've raised, you've worked, you've given, you've sacrificed, more than anyone knows. So why are you still holding on to things that were never your responsibility? Think about it. You're not a bank, but they ask for money. You're not a babysitter, but they drop off the grandkids like it's your job to raise them all over again. You're not a nurse, but they expect you to care for everyone else while ignoring how drained you are. And the moment you say no, the moment you set a boundary, suddenly you're the selfish one, the problem, the villain. But here's the question no one's asking. Who's holding them accountable for putting you in that position? Here's the truth. A lot of people take your love and turn it into an opportunity. They don't see you as a person with feelings, limits, and needs. They see you as a resource, a solution, a fixer. And that hurts. Because you give your all, you show up, you carry the weight, and in return, you get more demands, more blame, and the silent expectation that you'll keep giving without ever stopping to think of yourself. That's not love. That's emotional manipulation.
What seemed like a simple favor turns into a financial and emotional nightmare. You've just opened the door to a story no one wants to live. Because lending money at this stage of your life is like handing over the keys to your house and hoping they return them untouched. But how many times does that actually happen? It's sad, but it's the truth. When you lend money, you're not just handing over cash, you're handing over your peace of mind, your emotional balance, sometimes even your trust. And that's a high price to pay. After everything you've worked for, this is a time in life when you should be enjoying peace, not gambling it away on someone else's promises. Because lending money now, it could become one of the most expensive decisions you ever make. And no, it's not selfishness, it's self-respect. What feels kind today might become tomorrow's disaster. Think about it. What if a sudden health issue comes up? What if you need that money tomorrow, but you already gave it away? It's not about being cold. It's not about turning your back on the people you love. It's about making sure you're not left with nothing while others keep living off your kindness. Because it often starts with just a little help, but ends in regret. It's like leaving your front door wide open, trusting that no one will take advantage. But they do. And by the time you notice, it's already too late. Anything that robs you of your peace isn't worth it. Your peace of mind is worth more than any amount of money. And let's be honest, money rarely comes back the way it left.
And then comes the guilt trip. If you're my father, if you're my sister, you have to help me. That's not love. That's emotional blackmail. It's manipulation disguised as affection. And it traps you. It makes you feel guilty for even thinking of yourself. But here's what you need to know. You are under no obligation to save anyone if it means drowning yourself in the process. This is your life. And if it's not making you happy, change it. Because rowing a sinking boat isn't loyalty. It's self-destruction. And the truth is, most of the time, you don't even realize someone's taken advantage of you. This isn't about rare emergencies, not about medical crises. This is about ongoing favors that never stop. They keep asking, you keep giving, and slowly your savings drain while they go on living like nothing's wrong. And when you finally run dry, there's no one there for you. No refund, no restart, no reset. At this point in life, you can't afford to start from zero again. It's like driving down a dark road without a rearview mirror. You don't see what you've lost until it's long gone. So open your eyes. Don't chase affection. Don't beg for respect. Don't keep giving to people who only show up when they want something. Ask yourself, is this really love? Or is it just dependence, wearing a mask? The worst thing you can do is sacrifice your future for people who wouldn't think twice about sacrificing you. Because someone who truly loves you would never ask you to choose between your own stability and their convenience. And if they do, they don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your effort. And they definitely don't deserve your money. It's shocking, isn't it? After a whole lifetime of hard work, you still have to defend your right to enjoy it. But here's the truth. If they don't value you, they don't deserve you. Learn to say, enough. Don't be afraid to stand your ground. Don't be afraid to say no. Because peace of mind is a luxury you've earned. And now, it's your job to protect it. What's easy isn't always right. And in this case, the right thing is protecting what took you a lifetime to build. Life doesn't wait. Live it now. Don't let anyone stand in your way. This is your time to enjoy, to breathe, to finally be free. So next time someone comes to you with a sad story and an outstretched hand, ask yourself, are they thinking about me the way I'm thinking about them? And if the answer is no, then you already know what to do. This isn't coldness, it's wisdom. Because sometimes the good only shows up when you finally let the bad go. And in this case, the bad is anyone who sees you as a walking wallet, not a human being. You've reached this point in life for one reason: peace. You've earned it. You deserve it. After all those years of hard work, you should be enjoying calm mornings, laughter, and rest, not drama. But suddenly, someone pulls you in. Please talk to your brother. Please fix this family fight. Only you can help us. And before you know it, you're in the middle of a war you didn't start. You didn't cause the cracks. You didn't throw the punches. But they still want you to be the referee. And the moment you step in, you find yourself in the middle of a storm, spinning in chaos
you never signed up for. And then comes the worst blow of all. Your children fighting over your home, the place you built with years of sacrifice, the space filled with memories, love, and your life's work, reduced to dollars and property. It breaks you. Because you're not just losing control, you're losing the meaning behind everything you built. Even when you try to make peace, you end up feeding the fire. And the more you try to fix it, the more it falls apart.
That's when reality hits. You can't fix what people don't want fixed. You can't save those who don't want peace. And the price? It's too high. Your energy fades. Your health declines. Your joy disappears. All because you stepped into a fight that wasn't yours. So here's the truth. You don't have to lose yourself to help others. Life is too short to waste on problems that don't belong to you. This is your time now, to rest, to breathe, to finally live. So when someone asks you to step in and fix things, ask yourself, is this worth risking my peace for? Because you already know the answer. You can't save anyone by drowning with them. And you're not selfish for saying no. You're not cold. You're simply choosing self-respect. If you decide to stay out of the drama, you're not letting anyone down. You're lifting yourself up. Remember, you're not required to carry the weight of other people's chaos. Your peace matters more than someone else's guilt, more than family pressure, more than the fear of being misunderstood. Because the peace you've worked so hard for has no price. So think twice. If it's not making you happy, let it go. Peace is rare. It's precious. And once it's gone, you may never get it back. So don't waste your days fighting battles that aren't yours. Let go of what's beyond your control. Say it clearly. I won't get involved. And that's enough. You owe no explanation. You are not a pawn. You are not a fixer. You are not a sacrifice. You are someone who has earned the right to protect your calm. So protect it. Take your life back. Stop just surviving. Start living. Because no one, absolutely no one, is worth the cost of your peace. Now let's talk about something even more personal. What happens when someone asks you to change who you are? It might be your child, your sibling, even a close friend. They say things like, you shouldn't dress like that. You still listen to that old music? You're too old to act this way. They say it casually, like it's no big deal. But deep down, it stings. Because what they're really saying is, who you are isn't enough anymore. And that's not advice. That's erasure. It's not about fashion or music or how you speak. It's about identity. Your identity. The life you've lived. The memories you carry. The things that bring you joy. Suddenly it feels like your entire story is being questioned. Like everything you've built, everything you've survived, no longer matters. And why? Just because you're older? Since when did age become a reason to silence someone, to shame them into fitting a mold? They want you to update yourself, to change the way you talk, the way you act, even the way you think. But here's the truth. They're not asking for change. They're asking for compliance. They're asking you to give up what makes you, you. But why should you? Why should you stop wearing what you love? Why stop listening to the songs that carry your best memories? Why pretend to be someone you're not, just to please people who barely see the depth of your soul? You've earned the right to live your way, not out of rebellion, but out of wisdom. Every habit they criticize, it has a history. Every old-fashioned thing they mock, it holds meaning. And no one, no matter how close they are, has the right to rewrite your story. So when they say, stop being so traditional, change your mindset, move with the times, pause, and ask yourself,
Who am I really changing for? And what am I losing in return? Because if the answer is, I'm losing myself, then it's already too much. You've spent decades becoming the person you are today, through pain, joy, love, and loss. You've grown into your identity the way a tree grows roots, deep, strong, unshakable. Don't let anyone come along and try to prune your branches because they think you take up too much space in their world. You are not outdated. You are not too much. You are not too old. You are authentic, and that is your superpower. If you start molding yourself to fit in, you risk losing the very essence that sets you apart. And once it's gone, you may never get it back. So hold on to your voice, your taste, your spirit. Let them say what they want. You don't need to be understood by everyone, just respected. And if they can't accept you as you are, that's not your failure. That's their limitation. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what got you here. You don't need to be updated. You don't need to be rewritten. You just need to keep being you.
Imagine this. One day, your own child looks at you and says, "Stop talking about that stuff. That was years ago. Just let it go." They say it without thinking. But you feel the sting. Because what they don't understand is how much strength it takes to stay true to yourself. To keep standing when the world around you says, "Move on, change, keep up." The most dangerous thing you could ever do is let those words sink in. To start believing that you need to change just to make others more comfortable. Can you imagine losing your identity, the very core of who you are, just to fit into a mold that was never meant for you? That kind of loss doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, quietly. And by the time you realize what's missing, it's you. There is nothing worse than giving up what brings you joy just to keep the peace, just to avoid an argument, just to make someone else feel okay. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your identity. This is your life, and only you get to decide how it's lived. If something brings you peace, if it lights you up, if it's part of your story, don't change it for anyone. Your habits, your music, your memories, your way of living, they all carry meaning. They all matter. And if someone tells you to stop being who you are, pause, take a breath, and remember, you're not here to please. You're here to live. Now let's talk about another kind of pressure, the kind that hides behind love. What happens when someone you care about, your child, your sibling, your closest friend, asks you to put their emotions above your own? They won't always say it directly, but it sounds like this. "Don't put us in this situation. Can't you just do what I'm asking? It would make me feel better." And suddenly, without meaning to, they're telling you your happiness doesn't matter anymore. They want you to change, not for your peace, but for theirs. And if you're not careful, you'll start thinking that's what love is, sacrificing your joy for their comfort. But love shouldn't ask you to shrink. Love shouldn't demand that you disappear. You spent your whole life building something: peace, wisdom, balance. And now someone is asking you to walk away from all that just to make them feel better? That's not love. That's emotional control. You are not the stage for someone else's show. You are not the backdrop to someone else's life. You're the lead in your own story. And no one, not even the people you love, should ask you to dim your light so they can feel more comfortable in the dark. Every time you give in to these demands, you give away a piece of yourself. Until one day, you look in the mirror
and you don't recognize who you've become. So here's the truth. Your well-being isn't up for negotiation. Your peace is not a bargaining chip. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need permission to be whole. This life, your life, is not meant to be lived in the shadows of others. So stand tall, speak clearly, live fully. And if someone asks you to stop being you just so they can feel better, let that be your sign. It's time to choose yourself. Don't settle for less than you deserve. You weren't born to play a side role in someone else's life, but that's exactly what happens when someone says, if you don't do this, you'll hurt me, you'll disappoint me. And just like that, you're stuck, trapped between what you feel and what they expect. And just like that, your own needs, they vanish. But here's the truth. No one has the right to guilt you out of being yourself. Your life is your own, and you get to decide how to live it. Sometimes you'll be in situations where being true to yourself feels like you're hurting someone else. But ask yourself, why is your truth so uncomfortable for them? Why is your peace a problem?
People will try to make you feel like your choices are too loud, too much, too inconvenient, as if you should shrink yourself just so they don't have to face their own discomfort. But what about you? Your feelings, your mental health, your joy? This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. Because if you don't stand up for your peace, no one else will. If you keep bending to make others comfortable, you'll break. You'll lose the energy that keeps you alive. You'll stop recognizing the person you see in the mirror. And worst of all, you'll miss the one life you were meant to live. When you dim your light so someone else can shine, you become a spectator in your own story, watching, waiting, while others decide what you should do, how you should act, even how you should feel. And that's not living, that's surviving. So if someone demands too much, if they expect you to carry their emotions at the cost of your own, you have every right to say enough. Now more than ever, your decisions should be guided by one thing: what brings you peace. Don't do things just to avoid disappointing others. Don't carry burdens that were never yours. Don't keep quiet just to keep the peace. Because the truth is, when someone can't respect your feelings, it's time to draw the line. Only you can choose how to live. And if you're not happy, if you're not calm, if you're not you, then something has to change. You only get one life. Don't waste it trying to meet someone else's expectations. If someone wants you to live for them instead of for yourself, that's your signal to walk away. Right now, your peace and your well-being must come first. Don't let anyone drag you into their conflict, assign you responsibilities that don't belong to you, or take advantage of your kindness and your patience. Because when you give that away, you're not just giving your time, you're giving your soul. And protecting your peace starts with one simple word: no. Saying no isn't cold. It isn't rude. It's healthy. It's necessary. It's powerful. Because your peace, your calm, your joy, that's your responsibility. Now is the time to draw boundaries, to protect your energy, to enjoy this chapter of life that you've earned. And now that we've reached the end, I want to hear from you. Which part of this message hit home? Have you lived through something like this? Did you ever have to choose yourself, even when it was hard? If this video brought you value, hit subscribe and comment the word intact below so I can give you a special shout out in the next video. I'd love to read your story. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.